Zoom. What is up, my angels? So, y'all, I'm going to get straight into it because real life, we recorded a whole video for like an hour and it was in slow motion. But anyway, I got my hairdresser here, T.
Hey, y'all.
Y'all, T is, we've been knowing each other a long, long time. So one thing's for sure and two things for certain. And we got Anna in the background. Anna. Say what's up.
Hey, y'all.
So one thing's for sure and two things for certain. When I come sit in this chair, it's going to be a straight up therapy section, right? So first of all, before I even get into it, let me do a disclaimer. For anybody who has not been here already, thank y'all for visiting Cindy's Chronicles. What's going on is I went through a breakup. It's been about 7 months now, and I've been dreading putting this story time out because I wanted to make sure it was the perfect time, but honestly, it's never going to be the perfect time. I went through a breakup. I was betrayed by a girl who I thought was my friend. I was in a relationship for over 18 years, so I was betrayed by that person as well. So here's my story time. I came to get my hair done. I've been in Houston, and came to Baton Rouge today to get my hair done. We started talking about it, and I was like, this is perfect. Let's do it. Bam. So we were trying to come up with a name for the person because, of course, we can't say names. So we decided, what is a good name for that person who betrayed me, Anna? Because we can't come up with a name.
So this is what we came up with. I suggested, because it's a little bit of the story. Why did I get married to? You know how Sheila had the friend who she thought was her friend, came all the way to a trip. You know what I'm saying? And no girl was what? And then, you know what? Red flags, because we're going to talk about red flags. The red flag was, Sheila, when you had to get off that plane, your homegirl should have rode with you, but she didn't. She kept on, and guess what? Sheila was still like, no, she's my friend. She wasn't her friend.
So can we call her Tricky Trina or just Trina?
Tricky Trina is a good one.
Okay.
It's got a ring to it.
All right. So, because I want people to be able to catch on. So Tricky Trina, we got it from Why Did I Get Married? All right. So I'm going to give y'all a backstory on Tricky Trina for part 1. I'm going to try my best to make this just 3 parts. Get it all out, because my goal is, after this is over with, I don't want to talk about it no more. Like, I know I'm smiling and everything now, but it took me a while to get to this place. So my goal is to move forward and begin to heal properly. Every time I see somebody, always like, well, so what happened? Tell me what happened. Everybody want to know. And then I find myself telling a story. Then I find myself back in a negative mindset. So next time somebody asks me what happened, I'm going to say, girl, go watch my YouTube video. Okay?
Parts 1, 2, and 3.
Period. And I chose part 1 to give y'all backstory so y'all understand the 2 characters of this show. How many characters? Is it 3? Am I one?
You're the main character, so yeah. Main character energy over here. It's fine to have.
Main character, period. And then I'm gonna give y'all some throughout this first episode. I want to give you guys a few tips on just growing up, being aware, channeling in with your intuition, and also making your friends accountable or not accountable.
Why do we keep friends who show us so many red flags? Why do we keep them around us for so long when we really should have ended the friendship? And so when stuff happens like that and it blow up, and then hindsight, and you like, well, when such and such happened, I really probably should have stopped being their friend then. But sometimes when you're so loyal and you show up for people, because you're showing up for people how you want a person to show up for you, but it don't be the same. You know what I mean? And what's the word that everybody uses now? Because we always have those popular words. Reciprocate. If it's not being reciprocated, then I don't want it.
Mm-hmm. We just talked about boundaries too.
So having boundaries not only for the friend, but setting boundaries for yourself.
Mm-hmm. And if you have a friend, and like you said, if you notice that they have, like this particular girl who was my friend, she had a really bad habit of only messing with married men or men who had somebody. She was a very pretty girl, And it was almost like it was a game that she played to always want to have something that she couldn't have. Now, me, I never thought that it would happen to me because I just knew she couldn't have mine. But whew,
No,
child.
it's not even that. Being a loyal friend, like
I didn't even think that. That didn't even cross my mind. Like, yeah. So anyway, we should always want to hold those type of people in our lives accountable because you may think it can't happen to you, but it can.
Character. We talk about character.
If I haven't learned anything else this year, I've learned that it can happen to you. So let's get into the video. All right. This Tricky Trina, I met her about 13, 14 years ago. We worked together. And very attractive lady. Like I said, she had some bad qualities about herself. But we became cool. And I am not trying to toot my own horn, y'all. I am that friend who will try to hold on for dear life. Like, I feel like friendships are just as important as relationships because they are relationships and they're not disposable. If you find a good friend, I hear people say all the time, I don't need friends. I can hang alone. I feel like everybody needs friends.
At least one.
Yeah, that's how you get through life. I mean, you want somebody to talk to. You want somebody to hang out with. You want somebody to lean on. You don't want to, if you find somebody who don't have no friends at all, it's kind of like, what's up with you?
Or two, it could have been they had a lot of bad friendships and they're just so jaded that they're choosing not to have friends.
That could be true as well. So I'm the type of friend that my friends are not disposable. I try everything I can, and the crazy thing about me is like I'll try over and over and over again, and then when something really bad happens or when a light bulb come on and I just don't want to do it anymore, it's just all over with. It's like, bam, I have nothing for you, and it's just whatever. But it takes a long time to get there. So I met this person, Tricky Trina, about right at 13, 14 years ago. We worked together. We became friends. She did attend all my family events. She was, and another disclosure, because I wasn't going to say it at first, but she was okay with it last video, so I'm going to let y'all know. She know. Go ahead. Tell them,
No, it's totally fine. She feels comfortable with talking to me about this person. Although the video is for everybody to get a little information about what happened. I do know this person. I do know the person's character. I am not biased, but I do know the person. I do know the person personally. But the person hasn't been in my presence, and I'm not going to speak bad of the person because I didn't have that experience with the person, but I do know the person's character that she's talking about. So, just a disclaimer for those who see it and be like, they know that I know the girl.
Uh-huh. Okay. So
this is not a bad session.
It's not a bad session, no. And I'm not coming out right now saying, oh, I'm going to throw all the dirt, because even though she betrayed me, even though she did the worst thing that you can do to somebody, that was who she was. And that was me who didn't pick up on it. That was me who brought her in my house and brought her around my family, knowing the type of person she was. Now, if you ask me, I saw something different towards her in her at the end. More like, I hate to use this word. This word is like so bad, but it was more like evil. And I'll get more into that towards the end of the video, or maybe into the next one. But so we were friends. She came back probably like in 2019, 2020. Something happened. My daughter had began to branch off into like this other world, YouTube and stuff like that. And one day she came to me and she was like, I want to do YouTube. And I want to go full throttle, and I need your help, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I had just started my YouTube, and I'm guessing she thought I knew more than what I did. So she was real adamant about getting me to help her. And she would come over like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. And I guess I wasn't moving as quick as she wanted me to. So she was like, okay. She told a mutual friend that we had that she didn't really, she wasn't dealing with me because I wasn't trying to help her. But the honest to God truth is, God, I really didn't know much about it myself. And she was asking me to do stuff on days like I was really busy. I had became more busy. I had my grandson. COVID had just hit. Like, things were changing, and I couldn't explain it, but I just didn't have the time. So she got really angry. She told a friend that she cold turkey stopped talking to me. And when I kept calling a mutual friend, and they was like, well, she say you won't help her, and you acting funny, and she don't have time for that. So I was like, okay, she'll come around. We talked about that, about people who expect stuff from you. If you're really my friend, then you would kind of like know already what I'm going through, or you wouldn't expect so much out of me.
Or two, I mean, everything is not about you. So if I'm asking my friend to do something, my friend is doing it out of helping me out the kindness of her heart, then it has to be done on her own time. I can't expect my friend to stop, drop, and roll because I want something done and I want it done now. So there should have been a time for her to do whatever she needed to help, because if that really was something that she was determined to do, then she would be doing it in whatever capacity. Even if she didn't make it big, she'll have at least one video.
Right. Now, also, like, that should have been something I paid attention to, because anybody who know me know I got a good heart and I'll do anything for anybody.
But somebody who also knows you know that you got 1,000,001 things that you be doing, and so I'm like, I wouldn't have took offense to it.
I'm always all over the place. So I would tell her, I would be like, put it together, come over here, whatever you want to do, and I'll do it with you. But like, I just can't do it or whatever. Anyway, so that happened. A year passed. We didn't talk for almost a year. For my birthday, I gave a birthday party at the spa. I rented out the spa. I invited her through our mutual friend, and she came. So we got back cool or whatever. We apologized to each other. You know, whatever I did, I'm sorry. You know, if I wasn't there the way you needed me to be, because I took accountability. Maybe I was, if you're my friend, maybe I should have dropped some stuff and, you know, heard you more or whatever. So we apologized to each other. And literally like 3 days later, she called in after my birthday and was like, okay, girl, so and she dived right back into it, wanting to do videos. Mind you, I'm doing YouTube, but I barely know how to do it. I'm just like, you know, having fun with it. But again, I still don't have the time, but now I'm making time because I don't want her to think that I'm not. So now I'm forcing myself to do it. We did a few videos together. I was like, come over. But I guess when she come over to do a video, I was more like, okay, we got to do it and then you got to leave. It wasn't like we could hang out, sit around. She wanted me to, she was like, okay, we talked about doing reactions. She was like, all right, we can sit down and learn how to do it together. I'm like, no, I got to get off of work at 4. I got to get my grandbaby. I got to do this. I got to, you know, so it was like, why don't you look it up, hit me up, show me, come over, and then we can get it done and, you know, finish the video and leave. Bam, it only took like 3 days before she decided she didn't want to, she was mad at me again. At this point, I kind of let it go because I was like, whatever she's dealing with, if it's meant for us to be friends, she'll be back. 2 years later, almost 2 years later, she sent me a DM. She said she loved me. She missed me. Oh my God, I can't believe that, you know, I haven't talked to you in this long. And she came back around. She wanted to go to dinner so we could talk about it. She apologized. She took full accountability for what she did and how she handled it. And she even blamed it on this guy that she, you know, had started dating who was much younger than her. And we just kind of ran life down to each other. And of course, we kind of took off right where we left. Bam, that was in October. She also went on to say that she was watching TV and she saw my daughter was on Basketball Wives, blah, blah, blah. I should have knew that was a red flag right there. But of course, being humble, I didn't even think about that because I'm like, that's my daughter. They ain't got nothing to do with me. You know, she's been knowing my daughter since she was a little girl. Maybe that.
And you also thinking, that's my friend. She not gonna, because you do have a large friend group and nobody is weird about Nick being on TV.
Nobody. We don't even look at her like she on. We just.
But
it's just like,
or most people are happy. You know, like somebody from their city. You know, like is on Basketball Wives. Like they're happy about it, but nobody's calling you and being like super weird and like, hey, you know, since Nick is your daughter, can you do X, Y, and Z? Nobody's
right.
doing it. So you're not expecting that to be her motive.
Right. And if anybody know me, they know I don't expect anything out of, your kids. You just be so happy for your kids that they doing great in life. You don't want nothing from your kids. You just want them to do better than what you did in life, So I'm just always excited and proud of my children. I'm not even thinking about that aspect of it. But I didn't even know that certain stuff brings on so much hate and envy and different stuff like that. Okay, so we go out to eat. Like I said, that was a conversation a few times when we first started to have our conversations. But then we just took right off. It was October. We went to some Halloween parties. We started back hanging out. I can say that I take accountability because for not channeling into my intuition. This time, this go around, things were not the same. I could feel something. It was like almost like a dark spirit. Like I could always feel it when she was around, to the point where the last time she came around, I was slowly pulling the spoon out of her mouth at that time. Okay. All our alarms are going off. I'm trying to go quick. And you channel in whenever you get ready. Because guys, we had it going on in here at first. We was like full blown, like touching on stuff that can really help somebody. I feel like somebody really needs to hear. However, everything happened for a reason. The video went in slow motion and we kind of getting more straight to subject this time. So, bam, like I said, our friendship took off right where it left off at, and that was October to December. Now, backstory on this person. And again, I'm not coming out bashing her like as if, now that you're not friends, you wanted to put out all her dirt. I'm not going to put out any of her dirt because she means nothing to me. Absolutely nothing. I am just getting this off my chest, telling my story so I can go on with my life. It is therapeutic talking about it, but I'm tired of paying therapists because I did go through that phase where I was seeing a therapist for the first time in my life.
There's nothing wrong with seeing a therapist. Actually, it is a good thing to see a therapist because your therapist helps you to process your emotions and see the why on why, things were...
oh, no, it is there, and it's expensive, too. It's therapeutic and expensive.
Okay, yeah, I'm going back to school.
Yes, girl. But I went through that. Every time I see somebody, it's always like, girl, what happened? And now every time I make a video, because, I've been that person that you guys have been seeing for so many years. Everybody's like, what happened? What happened? What happened? So I'm going to go ahead and just get it out there. And like I said, I'm not bashing her because she means absolutely nothing to me. I have no reason.
This is just like, you're just touching on her character.
Touching on her character. She is the type of person, she's very... it's like she only dated married men. She only went after men who had somebody. It's like she got a kick out of that. I know the last time when she came back around this time, I think I was in a place of semi holding her accountable. She would go out, like one of her coworkers, she worked at a plant. One of her coworkers' husband was a promoter or something. And she was like, girl, every time I don't want to go out with her because every time I go out with her, she looking at me sideways while her husband thinking her husband want me. But then in another story, she turns around and tell me how the man walked her to her car and had his hand all on her butt. So I'm like, well, if that was her husband, a woman has an intuition. She probably picked up on that. I don't know.
But did she check him though? You got to, he
oh,
had
no.
his hand on your butt. Did you ever say like, don't play with me like that?
Right, no. But then she wanted to go with a married man, an African man at her job. She was like, oh, girl, he's older, but I dream about him. And when she showed me his picture, I'm like, what are you doing? This man has a wife. I was like, you're a very pretty girl. Do you kind of think that maybe you should date somebody that's not married this time? Because you're in a full-blown relationship with a man right now that you've been with for like 12 years. Not to mention you have pretty much, you have done so much to this man and his family since he's been married. She didn't went to the girl's house telling her that she's pregnant when she really wasn't pregnant, just was getting money for abortion or whatever. Okay, I'm gonna stop that part because that's airing out dirty laundry. I'm probably gonna cut that out. Anyway, she have done so much, and so now I'm like, it's really strong at this point. It's really, really strong where she's just going in on other people's men. Again, I never even thought past go. I mean, I date a girl. Surely she don't want her. Surely my mind's not even going there because she's my friend, right? Nah, she wasn't my friend. So, that's a backstory on her and her character. Now, backstory on my ex is, and she can vouch for my ex too, because she has literally, I've known her probably longer than I've known my ex. But she was around when we got together, like the whole backstory of how we got together, which is another story.
Character part is talking about this is out of her, is out of character, but not really out of character. That's for another podcast.
Yes.
But if you had been around them, you would have not expected the betrayal to be of this magnitude, because your ex was not a person who was like super like personable, always nice, always had a smile on her face. Hey, how you doing? But not real like super chatty or in her, you know, like how some people
Always made me feel very confident.
Yeah. I see how you feel. Like that's how we all felt. Like you could have put somebody in front of her ex and she wasn't going.
I could have put a million girls butt naked in front of her. She would have turned around and walked off.
Like it wasn't gonna be this. So for it to be the portrayal to be of this magnitude, it was really shocking.
Right, but however, it was her character, but it is not. It's kind of like everything she showed me since we've been together, I would have never thought. But then in the beginning, when we first got together, that's who she was. And I never forget that her ex told me, oh, she would never do those things. I know her. And then that's exactly how I felt. So maybe she's good at tricking people. I don't know. No, I don't think she's good at tricking people. I think she's a very, very, very weak person. So
I wouldn't use the word, you hear me, you know, me and my.
Okay, go ahead.
I wouldn't use the word weak. I think she is also a person that lacks boundaries. And so when you are not,
no, she doesn't lack boundaries.
No, she lacks, the reason why I say she lacks boundaries, because a person who is weak that lets anything go is a person who don't hold themselves to a boundary. Because this is the thing. Even if you are in a relationship that you don't want to be in, instead of saying like, this is not what I want for myself, I'm going to choose to move forward and leave the relationship like how two, and I'm not going to say adults because we're all adults, but an adult with the emotional intelligence to recognize this is not working for me. But that's not what she did. She got with somebody else to separate. Like, I'm going to just say, nobody can come and tell me about my spouse or because I'm married, or my significant other, because I'm like, what's the motive? Especially if it's coming from a person that is supposed to be my spouse or significant other friend. You just can't tell me anything. I'm gonna put it in the back of my mind, but what's the motive? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You're not a person that I would trust.
Right. I have always told my kids, if you're weak, you beat. Like, that's been my favorite words literally since they were like little bitty kids. If you're weak, you beat. And like you said,
that's what a boundary should have been, because I would have been like, when you was whatever it is that she felt like she exposed, you didn't tell me when it first happened. So I feel like it's mandate information. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's vindictive. You have a motive. So I just wouldn't allow it, because I would not allow an outside person. And that's why I feel like you probably may consider her being weak, because she allowed a outside person of a 19-year bond, regardless if even whatever it was, you don't ever. So okay, we going forward now because they don't know this part yet. Right.
So,
but it's building up to that part. So
it's building up to that part. Yeah. So about her character, I remember like years ago when her and her ex broke up. This was like 18 years ago, so 19 years ago. And I asked her, I said, why do you allow people to talk about her? Why do you sit there and laugh? I said, did you never love her? Because y'all was in a relationship for 5 years. She was like, yeah, I loved her. I said, well, why do you allow your friends to talk about her? She was like, what am I supposed to say? Well, first of all, I had an ex as well of 5 years. And ain't nobody in here going to talk about that person, because I was in a relationship with that person doesn't mean it gives you the right. Like, we might not be together. I might not even like that person. But you're not going to sit around and talk about them because I once cared about that person. So that's just like if me and my friend are not friends anymore. if we didn't have a horrible kind of breakup or betrayal, is what happened with this friendship, then you don't need to sit around me and talk about her, because I once loved her. That was my friend. We could talk about what happened. We could talk about that person's character, and we can agree that that person did some shitty stuff. But you're not going to just be talking about, girl, well, she did this, or girl, whatever. Like, I don't even want to talk about that to that extent or whatever. So to me, like, you had a different name for it. I called it weak, because you couldn't even take up for somebody who you cared about. You can't even set boundaries for people not to even laugh and talk about that person. Like, her mom never, ever, ever, we didn't even really know her mom like that.
But that's why I'm saying, because you're focusing on what happened in the character of the two people that betrayed you. But a lot of things that people do don't have anything to do with you. And so her ability to not set a boundary about people that she care about, and the way that she has moved with you and your situation in the past,
To me, made her weak.
Yeah, and because it just has something to do with whatever trauma that she has that doesn't have anything to do with you.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so
Right,
you know
right.
what I'm saying? Like, so, which still in tune has something to do with your character. So
Oh,
your character
okay.
are the things that you do that when nobody's watching.
Exactly.
When you don't think nobody's paying attention, that's the true person of the heart. And you may see these things revealed to you, but you are not really aware of that's that person's character. So that's why you don't think, oh, it's not going to happen to me, because you're like, oh, this is my friend, but you're not really looking at character traits. You're looking at surface things like, oh, I've been with this person for X amount of years, or this person has been my friend for X amount of years, but the character is always there, and you always see it in hindsight.
Mm-hmm. So another example of why I feel that, this way about her, the weakness or whatever, is because even her mom never came in our life, like literally never bought my kids Christmas gifts. Like, we didn't even know her like that. We always reached out to her. We wanted her a part of our life. But she never came around. Well, she ended up coming around like 4 or 5 years ago, because she was having trouble in her relationship. And she didn't just come in and be like, because we would all have welcomed her with open arms. She came straight in like out of some, what you call that mother-in-law, monster-in-law?
Yeah.
She came right in like the monster-in-law, like taking my ex off, telling her like, do you notice the way she's dressing? She came around my husband with these tight clothes on. I mean, she would even go as far as, if her husband invited us to dinner, she would call us and say, when he called y'all, tell him y'all can't come. Like, she was like so fake. And my ex knew she was fake. But her mom would come around and be like, yeah, remember you bought me that purse that time? And she'll be like, yeah. I'm like, you bought her a purse? She'll say, no, but just go along with it. What? Y'all both crazy. Like, it's like...
But it's not setting a boundary, you know what I mean? Like,
right. And then she would talk to me about it afterwards. She'll be like, I hate when my mama do that. I'm like, well, why don't you talk to her about it? Y'all never gonna have a relationship if you don't talk to her about it. But once her mom started dabbing in our relationship real bad, I used to be like, we never had these problems. We never argued. You need to talk to your mama. It caused me to feel like I'm about to start hanging out with my friends and stuff, because I can't date you and your mama. Whatever. So anyway, that's another example of, and then when her mom came in, she came straight in saying, oh, you need to check her because she be wearing tight clothes. Do you know this lady? Do you know she started asking me, well, I don't really, she started telling me, well, I don't really approve of some of the outfits you used to wear. I'm like, where is this coming from? We've been together all these years. All of a sudden, your mama. So now, to me, that's weak. You're allowing or lacking boundaries. You let somebody else to come in and tell you how you feel, and now you want to project that on me.
But that's another example of again, hindsight is 2020. Looking back at, she allowed an outside person to mess with, and it's okay. Nobody's saying that it's not okay for a family member to be concerned about something, but it's gonna be like, well, hey, you know what I mean? Like, you're gonna give advice.
And I could see if she's always been in our life and she came in.
Right.
If you came in, we never had a fist fight ever in over 18 years. We never had a fist fight. We barely raised our voice at each other. We raised all my kids. We had a great relationship. We had a great run. You know,
I'm like, she raises her voice because I ain't lying. I didn't even think
right. And we have had, yeah, it's like she's the one who taught me that. Like, okay, we can have a disagreement, but we're not going to raise our voice at each other, and we're not going to cuss at each other. So she taught me, like, really taught me boundaries. I had began to learn that you control other people by controlling yourself, by controlling what you accept. Because if I raise my voice, she'll walk off and be like, we're not having this discussion. If you're going to talk in front of the kids, we're not having this discussion. So when I come back, I'll come correct. I'll sit down and be like, okay, I'm ready to talk. Because I want to talk and I don't want you to walk off. So you're controlling me right now by controlling what you're allowing, if that makes any sense, right? What you're allowing in your personal space. So
she know how to set some boundaries, but in other areas she lacked. But then again,
right.
I mean, we have to continually to work, you know.
Right. So we have became this couple who really talk about stuff. Like, that's why I was so sure that our foundation was so strong that nobody could have came between that. Even though I look past how she would allow people to talk about her ex. I look past how you would allow your mom to come in our relationship and say stuff about me without taking up for me. Yeah, I look past how she would allow people to talk about her cousins or her best friends, or how she would get in with people after this person just left out of here. Now somebody else gonna come in, and y'all. I look past all that thinking it wouldn't happen to me. But why wouldn't it? Like, somebody can literally talk about her mama and she'll sit there and laugh with them. It's like she didn't protect anybody. What made me, I look past all that. What made me think she would protect me? And again, my grandbaby loved her to death. Like, she was there from the time he was born. We raised my kids together, so they don't know their dad. That was where they know him, but they don't, like, she's raised them. She's done everything for them. Yeah, they never, ever had to call their dads and ask them for anything. Like, no dads for donuts, no school plays, no nothing. Like, my ex was there 100% of the way. Okay? So, coming to the current now. I just gave y'all some past character about my ex-friend and about the person who I was dealing with. And would you say you agree with me on both characteristics of each person?
I can agree from what I know. You know what I mean? Like, I can say
when you saw me and my ex together, did you ever think that
she's always presented as to me, although I know it's always other sides to people, like, you know, everybody don't meet everybody's side, but
right.
To me, she's always been like a gentle person, a person who have never raised her voice. Like, I've never seen her mad, but of course I'm not in a relationship with her, but she seemed like she really like was loyal and had your back. But from the experiences of allowing somebody from the outside coming in, then that's where there was a crack in the relationship, and so that's why the situation is the way it is now. So I can agree that you gave a pretty fair judgment on
both of them.
On both of you.
Mm-hmm. And for me, I'm gonna, because I can't give y'all their characteristics, so I'm giving y'all mine without giving you mine. I would like to say, of course, I'm gonna speak good about myself, because this is what I think about myself. Everybody think good about themselves, right? I think for the most part, I'm very loyal. I really take relationships and friendships to heart. Like, they're not disposable to me. I can be a free spirit and a little wild at times, but I 100% believe in morals. If you're my friend or if you're my partner, I'm going to protect you at all costs. It's nothing nobody can do to come to me, even if they tell me you cheated on me. Like, yeah, you might have cheated, but you're my friend. You're my person. After I finish, you know, getting my anger out or whatever, after I finish, we talk about it, whatever the consequences we're going to deal with, I'm not going to come behind that and allow somebody to destroy you.
And you're not saying that you're a perfect person. You're just
right.
saying that I just would have never done her what she done me.
Correct. I would never allow somebody to come in and destroy you. Like, my loyalty, I've had people where a guy was trying to holler at me one time, and he was like, your police just walked in the door, and he was talking about my ex. And I'm standing there, and I look back, and I was like, oh, no, she got a name. And you know, I got upset. And he didn't even really call her a name. He just said, that's your police, saying, like, And I was like, no, like I got really upset because I don't care what the situation is. You're never going to talk about somebody who I care about. Let alone let somebody come in from the outside and destroy us from the inside. That is disgusting to me. Okay, so there y'all go. That is, we talked about our character. I talked about my character a little bit. Like I said, I'm not perfect, but I am loyal, and I do believe in taking up for people you care about and all that stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna get a tiny bit into
to lead up to
the second video.
Started at the night of the party.
So bam, one of my friend girls, my birthday December 31st. And my friend, her birthday is on January the 4th. She was having a party. And it was one of my really good friends, so I couldn't just count it out. Well, normally after my birthday, I fast. So I was going to fast in January, and the January 1st. But I wasn't going to start until after her party because, I got to go turn up with her and have fun, blah, blah, blah. So my ex, Katrina, my ex-friend, she called and she was like, I want to get to the party with y'all. And I was like, well, me lacking boundaries, because my intuition kicked in and said, let her know it's kind of like a couples thing tonight. But again, I have been so manipulated by her because all she keeps talking about now is how nobody wants me around their man because everybody's side eyeing me because I look so good and everybody man wants me and none of the girls wants me around. And I'm listening to her and I'm like, well, I don't want her to think that I'm intimidated by her coming around my person because, and she kept talking about that again, y'all. Like I said, this go round, she was different. I could feel something. So I was like, I kept ignoring it. So again, I'm all over the place because of course I got this mama coming in our house with all this mess, and I'm just like over everything at this point, right? So she comes, I was like, fine, you can go to the party with us. And she meets us at the party that night, which is only like 3 minutes from my house, and she lives about 45 minutes away. So while we're at the party, I'm trying to enjoy my friend because it's her birthday and they wants to go outside and puff. I don't puff. So I was like, go ahead. That doesn't bother me. Go outside, do whatever. So they come back in and, I'm having fun or whatever. I'm still not thinking nothing. It wasn't until literally the end of the night when I got in the car to pull off. Mind you, I've been drinking too. My ex went to go drive her car to my house. So I was like, what's going on? She was like, oh, well, I've been drinking. So I asked her to drive my car. And I'm looking at her like, you look pretty sober to me. And I'm drunk. Why she asked to drive me? But again, I'm like, I'm not about to act all jealous because why? And so we drove to my house. She said that she was too drunk to drive home. Can she stay at my house until she's sober up and she'll let herself out? I'm like, okay, fine. Which is completely out of the ordinary for me. I don't do stuff like that. But again, if one of my friends asks to spend a night because they can't drive home drunk and I have extra rooms, just go in there when you sober up, let yourself out. It's not going to be like an everyday thing. It's once every blue moon if that happens. So she, that's what happened. She came over. She wanted to spend a night. And again, I should have known something this night. I don't know why, or she could have just been saying this because, we had just got back to a good place. But she kept telling me all night, like, I love you so much. You my sister. I hope you know that I will always love you. I will never do anything to hurt you. I'm just like, where is she coming from with this? But of course, I didn't even think that much into it because I'm thinking she's drunk. People just have love sessions when they drunk or whatever. So, bam. We're going to get into the next episode. I'm probably going to do it tomorrow. But it gets juicy. So y'all stay tuned. I've given you guys a good little bit about our character and how things happen. And did I think that anything was going on before then. I honestly don't. But again, I don't know. This is the night I thought, honestly, that my ex and Tricky Trina didn't even care for each other. They really didn't care for each other. You know, Tricky Trina had just started asking me stuff like, well, why don't you invite such and such out with us tonight? And I'm like, why are you asking? Yeah, like I said, the signs were popping up and I just didn't pay attention to them. One night she was like, well, I don't want her to think that you're out doing anything. And I don't want her to think it's because of me that you're outside. I'm like thinking, if I'm not mistaken, I did ask her, why do you care what she think about you? She's my person. So, yeah. And again, my person, my children's person, my grandson's person, like that was our family. And Tricky Trina knew this. Tricky Trina also stood there on my birthday and all these other holidays and saw how well kept I was. She paid attention to, you know, she used to just be like, oh, I wish I had this. I wish I had that. And again, I'm thinking she just wanted a relationship and didn't want to mess with like other people's husband anymore. So I wasn't paying attention to the signs of, oh, I wish I had this. Like, I'm going to try to get yours.
You thought she was like, oh, okay. I want a relationship, I want a healthy relationship.
I want a healthy relationship. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So there you go. There's part 1, guys. Tell me what y'all think. Ask all the questions below because I am going to drop this video before I do the next one just so I can like kind of just get everything out. Everything I'm saying in this video is true. It happened to me. It's my story. It's nothing alleged. And it's the only thing covered up is names. That is it. Okay. And what do you think? You got to add anything to it? Because
so after the third part to this story, we're gonna be focusing on watching Cindy's Chronicles, okay? And all the good things and positive things. You said you had a surprise, so I'm excited to see what that is, what that's about.
I do. Coming out. Of course, you guys all know my podcast is coming out. But I do have a twist to the podcast, a little surprise. I think y'all gonna love it. It's gonna make it like it's just gonna be cool. I'm excited. I don't want to speak on it too much because I just don't want to put it out there now. But can't nothing stop it because I have already prayed about it. It's already happening. And I just want it to be a surprise to you guys. So y'all stay tuned for that. And thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'm super excited now that I done got it started. I'm ready to keep going. I kind of just want to keep going right now. But I want y'all to see me when my hair get done because I'm going to be all cute and stuff. So, and for some reason, I always end up like on all the TikTok pages and stuff. I don't want to be on there looking all crazy. So, excuse me. Y'all stay tuned for the second part of this video. Y'all drop y'all questions below so that I can be prepared. Y'all do me a favor and have an amazing day. Mwah!
Don't do that.
Okay, guys, this is my finished product. Cute. Y'all, this is my hair. Look at this. I actually used this hair before. I got this hair from Raw Tresses.
No, girl.
How you say it?
Girl, Raw Tresses.
Raw Tresses. I don't know why Miranda got that hard name. Sure. Raw Tresses. And I got this hair and I used it for the BET Awards, and she dyed my hair and re-put it back in. And yeah, it looks just as good as when I had it the first time. Period. I want you to show them the back. She a perfectionist, y'all. Let me show y'all in the mirror.
It's giving real natural.
Real natural. So guys, I didn't tell y'all, well, I did tell y'all, T was my hairdresser, that she was my friend as well. We go way back, and she is like the hairstylist here in Baton Rouge. One thing's for sure and two things for sure. You come here, she's going to get you right. But I didn't tell y'all her Instagram, so y'all can go follow her.
It is Cut Theory 101. Is it Cut Theory We don't put it in the
phone.
bio because why I can't remember my
I'm
own
gonna put
yesterday.
no. I'll be like that. That's crazy.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna put her Instagram in the description. But guys, like I literally come here and have the best therapy sessions. And I love. I wish she would have gave y'all just a little bit more, because when we talking, I love the way how she articulates her words and how she breaks everything down. It's like, yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Right there. Anyway,
Girl, look at that action, girl.
I am ready to be cute. So y'all know y'all got a video coming, because yeah, I'm gonna be cute. I might go get my makeup done tomorrow, girl. Period. All right, y'all.